On Monday, January 13th, we will celebrate the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Also known as MLK Day, it is a national holiday that is observed on the third Monday of January each year.
If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. Because everybody can serve.
Our country, this wonderful place, this little piece of real estate that we call America, was built, founded on service. We didn't necessarily wait for local, state, or the national government. We came together as a people, and we just did it.
I was one of 4 6-year-old children, girls, to integrate the public school system here in New Orleans in 1960. When I look at the Norman Rockwell painting and I see myself, I always say that the lesson I took away was a lesson that Dr. King tried to teach all of us. And that was that we should never look at a person and judge them by the color of their skin. I crossed a picket line, a mob every day for a whole year. There was a woman there to greet me. She did everything she could to make my day fun. She not only taught me, but she read stories to me. We played games. I knew that if I got past the mob and inside of the building, I was going to have a great day. And it was because of her. So she showed me her heart. And I began to realize that there was no way she was like the people outside. I couldn't judge her the same way. And so I believe at that moment, I learned the lesson that Dr. King died trying to teach us.
In 1957, when I was 17 years old, I wrote Martin Luther King Jr. a letter. Told him I wanted to attend a little college about 10 miles from my home, and this school didn't admit black students. He wrote me back and sent me a round-trip Greyhound bus ticket. I traveled to Montgomery. I saw Dr. King standing behind a desk. He said to me, "Are you the boy from Troy? Are you John Lewis?" I was so scared I didn't know what to say or what to do. And I said, "Dr. King, I'm John Robert Lewis." I gave my whole name. He was so inspiring. He was so moving. And somehow, in some way, I wanted to become part of that movement, and I did.
For a long time, people fought to get the King holiday in, and it finally got achieved nearly 25 years ago. But it was sermons, talks, meetings, lunches, and one day I said to myself, this is wrong. If Martin Luther King were here, he'd say, that's not what I want on my day. I teamed up with John Lewis in the House and many Republican and Democratic colleagues of mine in the Senate.
We felt that Martin Luther King Jr. was a man of service, and his day, the federal holiday, should be a day of service.
When the Congress passed the legislation, it was sort of like a reading wedding vows, that we were marrying a commitment to serve the common good and to let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. We lost a great soul. He took chances. He lived daringly. He didn't let the fear of harassment or persecution deter his mission. He stayed focused and committed. while he died at a young age, he lived a long life in terms of service and witness. He piled into those 39 years, 100 years or more on service and preaching and loving, caring.
My father said an individual has not started to live until he or she can rise above the narrow confines of his or her individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of humanity. He would certainly applaud the fact that our nation has set aside a day where we can become more other-centered rather than self-centered and really focus on the broader concerns of humanity, because that's really the person that he was and the way that he lived. Nothing's insignificant. As you're celebrating the King Day, remember you are important, you're significant, and you have something that you can offer to make humanity a better place.
We at the Corporation for National and Community Service are the federal agency that is so proud to be leading the Martin Luther King Day of Service and volunteerism throughout the country. We are asking people on Martin Luther King Day to volunteer in their community. Ask a friend or family member or coworker, or find someone who may be lonely or feeling isolated and ask them to join you and serve your neighborhood. We're asking people not just on Martin Luther King Day, but to volunteer throughout the year and help others and serve.
As Coretta Scott King proclaimed,
The greatest gift Martin could receive
is if people of all racial and ethnic backgrounds
celebrate the holiday
by performing individual acts of kindness
through service to others.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. King is best known for advancing civil rights through nonviolence and civil disobedience, inspired by his Christian beliefs and the nonviolent activism of Mahatma Gandhi. King participated in and led marches for blacks' right to vote, desegregation, jobs, and other basic civil rights. He helped lead the Montgomery bus boycott after Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks refused to give up their seats on a city bus. The boycott lasted 385 days. He helped organize some of the nonviolent 1963 protests in Birmingham, Alabama, and he helped organize the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
The song "We Shall Overcome" is a gospel song and would become a powerful song of protest and hope for millions during the civil rights movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. recited the words from "We Shall Overcome" in his final sermon delivered in Memphis on Sunday, March 31st. He was killed on April 4th, 1968. Over 50,000 people sang "We Shall Overcome" at his funeral. The song has been sung during civil rights movements all across the world. I invite you to sing the song this week as we celebrate the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.